Hello and welcome to round 6 of the Next Level Racing Sim Racers Asia iRacing GT3 series live on Apex Racing TV. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Dane Bed, Marco Barbonet operating the cameras and bringing you these fantastic shots of Road America, which is the host of this round 6 of the season. Dane, this is one of my absolute favourites. Love to drive around this place, love to race around this place, and yeah, a very familiar home for many of these GT3 drivers.
Yep, absolutely. One of the more popular circuits on the iRacing service Road America, and yeah, it definitely lends itself to some close racing. One of the longest circuits on in America, at least, that we have on iRacing. It's 6.4 kilometers long, so it's quite a long one. But yeah, they've got two long straights, three long flat outish sections, so should have some good overtaking opportunities today, and hopefully we get a good race.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, one of the easiest to overtake circuits probably on the sim is this one, and yeah, should be good fun for the drivers in the 40-minute race we are going to have in a little bit. But first, before that, is the 20-minute qualifying session. We've just got a minute and a half left of the qualifying session remaining. And the drivers try and set the best time, of course, to put themselves up on the grid. Right now, it is Luis Paulo Galon on pole position, but it wasn't Galon who won last time out, Dane. It was Sergei Nathakunjon who managed to take the win at Hockenheim. We then had a week's break last week, so it's maybe Sasha who's maybe got the momentum, but it'll be good to see those two go against one another, because they've only been racing against each other once so far this season at Daytona. Apart from that, one of them has been missing, whilst the other one has been around. So we get to see a proper duel between those two drivers tonight.
Yep, definitely. We can see him sending it around the middle sector there, getting a little bit loose through the middle of the corners, and riding on board with the driver currently in second position. He's about half a second back though, so I'm not sure if maybe he didn't have the best of flying laps, but it looks like Gallon's absolutely nailed his with a 204, just getting into the 204s.
Yeah, maybe a bit of draft playing a factor there. I mean, it was Nathakunjon who managed to beat Galon to pole at Daytona. Unfortunately, picked up a slowdown on the first lap of the race, and from that point on was a super evenly matched, but unfortunately never really got too close to one another. So that is a mighty time for Galon, who is the championship leader as well. Has won 4 out of 5 meetings so far this season. As the checker flag is out for the drivers, they can complete the lap that they start, which is a nice change from what we usually have, because we aren't using the heat racing function tonight. It's just the simple qualifying and then the race. So yeah, the drivers can complete this lap that they start. We've got Dong Ji Kim at the moment out there. He just about crossed the line in time, so he'll be one of the last drivers to set his time. Also, Tai Kim, who's up there in the championship. I think he's 3rd place in the championship, is Kim. A little bit further down the order at the moment in 8th place, but maybe he could improve on his last attempt here.
Yep, we'll have to wait and see. The pressure's definitely on though, because unlike the rest of the laps, they know this is their last lap, and if they make a mistake, well, that lap, they're not going to take any further part in the qualifying session. There's only a couple of minutes left that the drivers can actually finish their laps in. The iRacing does limit the amount of time that you can take, so drivers can't just keep everyone waiting by chilling out on the main straight and not completing their lap time. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to have to worry about that too much, as we ride on board with the top McLaren in the field. I think we have one car in every single car in the GT3 class, if I'm not mistaken. I think we've got one of each.
I think you are right. I'll have to turn the badges on my my live timing, and maybe we'll have that up on the screen. But yes, very good representation. Of course, the Porsche as well being announced a couple of weeks ago. Finally, we're going to have a GT3 Porsche, which isn't the Cup car, obviously, as that's a little bit of a hit into the wall. Here comes Kim, though. He will be the last driver, and he's very anticlimactic and nips on into the pits. Needs to make sure he crosses the line so we can advance straight over to the qualifying, because we may have the longest the longest lap of the season, longest formation lap of the season, or he might have the short one. I'm not quite sure. But we're about to find out then, because in fact, actually, qualifying's still over. It's still going on, so it has not quite gone over yet. Just got to wait a little moment. By the way, this series, of course, sponsored by Next Level Racing, and if you're looking to upgrade your rig, go to Next Level Racing. There's really rigs for any budget size, really from 100 quid to obviously if you're going into the thousands, pretty much anything available on Next Level Racing. So if you're looking to improve on your rig, do certainly check them out. As yeah, we've just got a few more moments. In fact, Kevin Huang managed to get up ahead of Nathan Kunjon right at the end there, and I missed that one unfortunately. But Huang on the front row of the grid. That's a gutsy time right at the end.
Yep, and yeah, he's about 3 tenths behind, so we gained a couple of tenths on Sachet there. But we've been told that there is yeah, there's quite a lot of wind, 28 kilometers an hour on my screen. The wind, which is a little bit strong. The drivers aren't going to have it too easy out there. That might unsettle the cars through the corners in some parts of the circuit, and it looks like qualifying finally over.
Yes, that's a very good point. I mean, iRacing does take that into consideration. As I got the short formation up, oh, we better get on with it. Okay, so it's Luis Paulo Gallon for another pole position ahead of Kevin Huang. Sachet Nathakunjon, last time out winner, starts on the second row of the grid alongside Nicolas Fenat, one of the several French drivers on the grid. Then it's Dong Ji Kim in 5th place. Si Jing Park in 6th, Cameron Stubber in 7th, and Tai Kim in 8th. Then it is Mingyu Song, Sebastian Tixera, Yehan, and Simon Sanchez in 12th. Pirouette Chukantoi in 13th, Wai In Long in 14th. Then it's Pachara Hongsawet, Thomas Ferry, Jamal Gandor, Benjamin Brook, Atsushi Kanata, Out Aaron Mitt, who's the leader of the amateur drivers, by the way, in the championship. Wei Han Chan, who we are backing for this race, the series organizer, of course. Glenn Paolo, Kin Kyung Ao, and Sang Young Lee, rounding out the 24 cars. And I am getting better at the pronunciation, and it really does show how bad I was at the start of the season. Yeah, so short formation lap is going to be some pretty cold tyres out here.
Yeah, they've only got, what is that, a corner? I think before, yeah, this is coming up to the final corner, so they're going to have a couple 100 meters to warm the old tyres up. But yeah, that's not ideal. The pace truck is out there. Marco Barbanera in the production booth will be very happy to see the pace truck out on the circuit, and yeah, they're just about getting ready to go then with the Mercedes and the McLaren in the front row. McLaren's not getting going though. Oh, there they go.
Yep, needs to get a move on. Because as you say, just a couple of 100 meters, and I don't know, that's a little bit dangerous. There you go, we're back, so we should be able to get everyone lined up. It's not the biggest grid of the season, just over 20 cars battling for the race win here at Road America for round 6 of the season. And going very early there is Luis Paulo Gallon, who pulls away from the rest of the order. He has got a mighty jump as we're away racing for 40 minutes of action. Good start for Kim to get past Bernard. That's the only change in the top 10, just getting the better launch from the odd side of the grid. And also side by side for second position with Nathan Kunjon managing to push through, and that was absolutely essential for him. Park and Stubber have come together. They started, I think, in 6th and 7th positions, but have had some big setbacks. Stubber had a poor start at Hockenheim, having another poor start here at Road America. So we're right on board with Kim, who's already made up 1 place, and Kevin Huang, who started on the front row of the grid. He's at threat of jumping out the top 3 already.
Yeah, that incident into turn 1, it looks like one of the drivers just missed their braking point slightly, and they were lucky to not collect anyone else. They were quite bunched up in the front there, so good avoidance by the rest of the field in that area. There's someone off in the background. Yeah, that's one of the McLarens. Oh, it's turned right around, and that's not a great place because it's going to be so difficult to get that car turned around and back running. Yep, down to pretty much last place now.
I'm going to not be very professional. I'm not sure why Bernard has got the car number 1. He may have won a previous championship. I'm not quite sure. But whatever the one is, it's clearly warranted, and so he will be disappointed he's down in 24th place. I wonder if we could get a replay actually of that, because it'd be interesting to see if he got hit or whether he lost it by himself. But for Road America, that's a very clean start. Very narrow turn 1 we have here, and that turn 3 is also a big trouble spot, as Kim is really a lot faster than Huang here. He was struggling to get the tyres up to temperature, perhaps on this slightly cooler track surface, and Kim is going the long way around. Should be able to get on the throttle a little bit earlier. Now this going side by side here will lose you a lot of time. This is going to invite other drivers in, but I think Huang doing the wise thing there. He gives up the place, and this has allowed the top 2 to really start making a gap.
We're going to see a replay of what happened to the driver of that number 1 machine. Potentially just losing it. Oh yes, it's got too far onto the curb on the inside. There's a massive dip on the inside of that curb, and it looks like he's possibly caught one of the inside tyres in that dip, and yeah, that spun the car around unfortunately. So a bit of an unforced error there, and he's got a bit of work to do now to try and catch back up to the rest of the field. He's just made up a position into turn 1, I think.
Should be a fun race at least from here on in. He'll be going with Park as well, and of course Stubber as well, trying to make their way through the order. Also Kanata just getting past Lee, and there goes Stubber. He's going to gain at least 1 place. We've got the Audi off the circuit, and this might be a few more places by the time they get on the brakes. It's a narrow circuit, properly old school this track, and it's barely changed since really the 1960s, I believe. Trying to find a way past, but yeah, just see now, can't make it 3 wide right there, and so Stubber has to just patiently wait behind. Around this part of the circuit, you can go side by side, corner after corner, loses you a heap of time, but it's not necessarily a massive advantage to be on the inside. In the end, Paolo was able to just nip ahead of Kanata, and Stubber will be next, I'm sure, to get past the Mercedes driver.
Interestingly, leader of the race, Gallon, not pulling away from Nathakunjon in second, so not expecting that. He was quite far ahead in qualifying, but in the race it seems he's not quite got the edge that I thought he might have, and those two have got a bit of a gap now to Kim in third, but yeah, I would have expected Gallon to maybe pull away a bit more, as Son's gone a little bit deep into the corner, and that's going to allow Huang to maybe catch up just a little bit. There's a bit of a train for me here in the middle of the circuit. Someone's gone a bit wide there.
Well, Huang's had a really rubbish lap because he was in 4th, wasn't he? And then he's dropped behind the other Kim and Song. So I don't know what happened to Huang there. He's now down 4 places from his start. But he, well, actually, no, this is Tixera looking to get past Huang, isn't it? So actually, Huang might be dropping even further down the order. I think Tixera, they're just lifting out other thoughts or realising he wasn't going to get alongside enough. As we in golf, my cheeks generally do warm up slightly whenever on that action, on that camera angle, because yes, the fire burning all over the place. Here it is again. This is why we need the McLaren GT3, as we've got the clear visor, so get ready to have that in your nightmares, because the driver's eyes are pretty terrifying. They also have ears as well, which I'm not sure if drivers know. And that just looks really creepy when you look at the cameras. They have ears, so there you go. That's a bit more of a fact.
You can customize them now. The face.
The ears?
I don't know about the ears. I know about the face in general. You can customize the face just as you can customize your car in the iRacing paint shop, which is really weird to me because I very rarely actually see the face. But when we get into the later races, as we're seeing very often here in Sim Racers Asia this season, yeah, when the lights come on, the visors suddenly change to clear, and you can see all of the details on their face, which is it's very creepy, especially if you have your graphic settings turned up enough so that you can see in your mirrors. You can see the face pretty clearly if someone's behind you, which is incredibly freaky.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that sounds bad. Jeez, I'll stick to single seaters, thanks. Can't race in the night. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realise that you could customise the drive, but I know what I'm going to do after this broadcast. I'm going to make a beeline to that. This train is still a thing. Everyone, well, in fact, even Dong Yu Kim is dropping back into
Oh
Taikip.
dear.
Oh, we got an off for Lee and Park, so that's Park's second off of the day, isn't it? Because he started up in 6th place. And then Lee was passed by Park a while ago, so what has happened? Oh, no, no,
Oh
no.
dear.
Oh, he made a great effort there, was Lee, very aware of his mirrors, but he just could not avoid. And then the 76 had a separate incident, didn't he?
Yeah, that's
That was ow.
yeah, just touching the grass on the outside there, and that's definitely a one-way ticket to Wall City. What's happened for the 76 just losing it under brakes, trying to avoid them, maybe just getting put off a bit and out braking himself, and then touching the grass and the dust on the outside spins them around. So just a bit like slowing down on the motorway to see what's happened on the other side. He's just completely missed his braking point, possibly a bit worried about what's happening in front of him.
So easy to do, and it's probably the most frustrating move because you're delighted for a moment that you're about to gain 2 places and then you absolutely ruin it all. Now that Gunjon's started to drop back, so maybe you're thinking at the start of the race what was in fact correct after all, because Gallon has started just to make a bit of a gap, was pulled away by about 0.4 of a second that last time round, but still got confidence in Sachet, and of course we do have a pit stop later on as well, so if you can just stay in the draft of the car ahead for a bit, then you can save a bit of fuel, and every litre counts when it comes to the pit stops. So of course if you can go the extra lap as well, it could be quite an advantageous position as well, as Kim cannot, apologies, this is Huang, dropping back from the 2 Kims, who are not related, by the way, no relation. One's located in South Korea, one's located in Canada, but Huang is trying to stay ahead of Song at the moment, and Tixia and Sanchez and Anno, as has been the case for the past couple of laps, right to the tail, but Song just cannot get close enough. The McLaren is a notoriously quick car down the straights, but well, you've got 2 of them, it doesn't really make much of an impact.
Yeah, it looks like, I think it was Huang, it was possibly losing out on a bit of straight line speed. Looks like there's even a small bit of damage to the rear of that car. So, ooh, and there was almost a bit more damage given to the rear of that car there as Song went in slightly deep. This could allow Tixia and 7th to try and possibly make a move. The Ferrari is usually pretty good in terms of straight line speed, so might give them a bit of an advantage down the straights, but he's not quite close enough. He's pretty far back. I actually didn't think he was that far back as they head into what is called turn 5, but really isn't. They did touch there into turn 5, and yeah, just about the contact was so slight that it didn't even affect either of them, but you could hear the little crunch.
Yeah, that really not leaving yeah, much space at the moment is Song on the brakes. Just seems to be really, yeah, he does seem to be good on the brakes, doesn't he, Song? But then just on the corner exits, he loses a bit of time. Just got to keep on plugging away. We're only a quarter of the way through this race, and this is turning into what could be a race-long battle between these drivers. They're losing about half a second a lap to the drivers ahead, so really not making much of an impression. Also, Nathan just dropped another half second to Gallon on that lap, so it seems like now that he's out of the draft, he's really struggling to keep up, and Gallon really establishing his dominance on the series, looking for his 5th win out of 6 races and his 5th win out of 5 in terms of the races that he's entered, so would be a mighty achievement. Dixon just dropping a bit of time to Bill Mitchell bend there, and he won't be close enough to Song for his slipstream overtake. And we've got the Ford as well just at the back of that one. Further back, this is getting tight with this is Chan hanging on against Cameron Stubber, who's on the comeback trail after that first lap incident, and apparently he's got an awful livery. I don't think I've got to download it, as Chan goes wide and that awful livery seems to have hurt him.
Yeah, he's got an Arsenal livery, which Marco Barbanera and I take great offence to for very different reasons. But yes, I think we might be slightly happier to see him dropping down the order than we would have been before seeing that livery, as they're going side by side 2 rows back into turn number 1, where they just about sort themselves out. before they hit the apex. But yeah, Weyhan under a bit more pressure there from the McLaren behind. But I wonder if he'll be able to keep up with them down the main straight. He'll be in the draft. He runs a little bit wide and doesn't get the best of exits. He's dropping back slightly now. But these two Mercs just in front of him having a bit of a scrap now as they head down towards turn 5, which is actually turn 3, but we go into that way too often.
Yeah, I make a point to refer to it as turn 3 from now on, because it is. Bernard's got past, so the car number 1, he is, yeah, like many other drivers on the comeback. I wonder if you get a I'm sure Marky O'Neill will be telling Sarah, but if you get a replay of Stubber's instant at turn 1 on the first lap, because I think you may have seen it, Dane, where I think he got like a bit of a tap just behind. I don't think we ever got a clear image of this one. This is why Stubber's so far down the order, and here it was then, so he's in the McLaren, and oh, there you go. Oh, unlucky.
We cut away just before that happened, but I could see it happening, which is the only reason why I had a vague idea of what actually happened there, because yeah, I could just see someone going a bit deep on the brakes. I thought to myself, oh, that's not going to end well, and yeah, it didn't. So yeah, unfortunate there. Out in front, Gallon 2.5 second gap now, so that gap is increasing the way I thought it would. At the start of this race. Battle in the middle of the top 10 here, 5th, 6th, 7th. Heating up slightly. We've got Song just behind Tixia, so Tixia's got through now. The Ferrari with the Magic Turtles on it.
I'm not familiar with Magic Turtles. Do you know what Magic Turtles are?
Absolutely no idea, but they're on his car, so we'll see. But Son manages to get past using all of the tarmac on the right-hand side of the circle, on the left-hand side of the screen. Yeah, you can use all of that. It's a bit bumpy, but you can use all of it. I don't think many people actually know that, because before the graphics overhaul of Road America that happened last year, there was an off-track there, but now there isn't. So yeah, you can use all of that on the outside, and I've gained quite a few seconds on this circuit to other drivers just by keeping it close to the wall there and getting a much wider line through the corner, but not many people know that, and if you're watching this, now you do.
Well, I know George Simmons used it a lot when we visited this place in Apex Racing League touring cars, and it seemed to work a treat. It was a very smart system. What was it? I'm trying to think when we visited. Yeah. It was, and yeah, it seems smart. I think it won a race actually that evening. So no, it's certainly worth doing. Even though, yeah, as you say, it is a bit bumpy, so you can kind of be a bit unsettled. But if you can nail it, it can gain you a couple of tenths a lap. And really, it's just been sitting at the back of this one, but it will be saving a good amount of fuel, and the pit window will be open. For these drivers, a high amount of fuel, of course, being used for these drivers because you're on the dot for so much of this lap. It really means that you may have to pit a couple of laps later than you would do, but really the ideal strategy is to fill the tank with as much fuel as you can. As Stubber comes in, so you may be trying to get a faster pair. He was getting a little bit stuck back there, so that certainly confirms that the pit window is open. He'll take the faster pair, a couple of them that the drivers got to use. But yeah, the ideal strategy is to just go as far as you possibly can, run the tank dry, and then you'll have the lightest car across the race. Of course, no tyre changes for these drivers because that would take upwards of 25 seconds. Really, the advantage you'd get would just be a handful of seconds with these GT3 tyres. So yeah, just a quick stop. And then back out, and yeah, a couple of fast pairs available for the drivers.
Yeah, the tyre wear not very quick on these cars. The tyres last quite a long time. In the Daytona, 24 hours. Some of the teams in the top split in GTE and GT3 were doing 5 stints on one set of tyres, and the stints in that race were about an hour long. So some of the drivers were getting extremely tired through the night in that race, having to do 5 stints in a row on a set of tyres. But they gained a lot of time by doing so because the tyres just weren't wearing. And yeah, we see the same thing here in these shorter races. There really is no reason to change the tyres at all, because the advantage you gain is possibly a second, maybe 2, if you can manage the tyres pretty well. So yeah, that's why we won't see any tyre changes, but we will see drivers having to make their way in for fuel. Otherwise, we'll see some stricken cars on the circuit. There's a stricken car on the circuit, and that's not the best place for it to be. Oh dear, that could have ended so badly. I've seen way too many incidents end a lot worse than that one. And there's another car off the circuit as well, just before where Fenart was. So 2 separate incidents there, but both cars ending up in the wall. This is through the kink.
Yeah, so
Gone a bit wide. Oh no, it's just turned. It hasn't hit the grass or anything. That's an odd one.
must be those high degradation tyres on the car. Thomas Ferry out at sea here.
Imagine he's up. Yep, grass.
Out at sea. And yeah, so bad couple of corners for many French drivers we have in this series. The 3 of them, in fact. Oh, Sanchez is very close to Teixeira here. Can't quite get past. Yeah, still all the same order, isn't it? This, yeah, I think so. Bit of a pull up there for Song, actually. He, in fact, actually, Juan got past Song. Did we see that move? I don't think we did, but yeah, so certainly a poor lap there for Song, and yeah, Juan really pulling away from these drivers now after being trapped a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, it's a good 2.5 seconds is the gap between those 2 McLarens in 5th and 6th now. But Teixeira was ahead of Song for a moment, and then of course Song got back. But yeah, I'm not sure why Teixeira's dropping back slightly, because you'd think, having been ahead once, would be able to get ahead again. Let's see, we've got leader of the race out in front, number 21. He's got a 4-second gap now. He's pretty comfortable out there in front. Yeah, you can see he's gaining around about half a second a lap every single lap since lap 4. And what's he going to gain on this lap? Another half a second. So pretty consistent stuff there from Luis.
Yeah, that's a graph and a half, isn't it? Just 4 tenths every single lap, incrementally increasing. Gallon definitely establishing in that, and of course that was the gap in qualifying as well, wasn't it? It was half a second in qualifying, so just the Kunjon, terrific driver, but once that draft was lost, really had no chance of coming back. Off the circuit is Lee, who is a lap down already, but we've also got the 2 Kims racing against one another. It's Tai Kim catching up to Dong Dui Kim there. Half-second the gap, and they're not that far behind Nathan Kunjon as well. Kind of matching Nathan Kunjon at the moment. So kind of second down to 5th, all very evenly matched at the moment. Just those gaps formed in the early part of the race. A few more drivers coming into the pits as well. Aaron Mitz just came in. Yeah, Teixeira into the pits. But yeah, Aaron Mitz, Stubber, Ferry, Park, Gandor, Bernat, and Palo all also coming into the pits in the last couple of laps. Sanchez not close enough to Song, who's defended very well so far in this race, and it is getting properly dark as well for these drivers, and this circuit does not have any lights really, so it's just the illumination of the headlights which enable you to see where you're going. But anyone who would have raced in the Nürburgring 24 hours will probably be thinking that this is easy as anything, because racing at night around that place, racing in the day around that place is tricky enough anyway. And remember, with that pit stop complete, in fact all these drivers have got the pit stop complete, apart from Ferry actually, who apparently pitted on lap 1 of the race. You will have to pit again then, Ferry, in order to get to the end. Otherwise I don't think the fuel will quite get there, and there are the top speeds for the drivers as well. Gives you a little bit of an insight into their, well, our producer saying that there was a mistake to highlight the top speed. It is fairly useless because the draft effect of course makes a big difference, but I don't know, it gives you a little, if we wanted to, we could totally construe that into thinking it meant something.
Yeah, probably could. Dixie is the highest driver up the order who has made a pit stop so far, sitting in 14th. And yeah, hopefully, or actually, looking at the field right now with the Ford, as the sole Lamborghini in the race makes his way down pit lane, but looking at the only Ford in the race, and this might be the last time we see the Ford on circuit in this series, because yes, it's definitely getting replaced by the Porsche GT3, you would imagine, and I think that's making Marco Barbanera in the production to be very sad.
Yeah, I mean, come on guys, let's keep it in. We don't need the Porsche. Yeah, well we've got, how many more weeks have we got till the end of the season? This is week 6, haven't we? So we might have a couple more rounds after this one. Assuming, of course, that the Ford driver does turn up. Oh, mistake for Gallon, and the lead has changed. Nathan Kunjon takes the lead, and he's hit the wall as well as Luis Paolo Gallon. He's got the faster pair. Unfortunately, he's very close to the pit entry, but he has made this day very tricky for himself. The race winner 4 times this season, but he has made a remarkable mistake here. In fact, he's already hit the wall. He must have hit the wall at the kink, I imagine.
Damage on the right side of the car, so it does look like it's into the kink. So has he looped it and hit the wall on the right hand side? Yes, he has. That's exactly what he's done. That's a pretty big hit there, and it's a good thing he had such a big gap, because otherwise that could have been a lot worse. He hasn't lost, I would say, too much time, because he'd only just got passed by Nathan Kunjon as he made his way into the pit. So he will have lost quite a bit of time, but I think he might, with just under half of the race left to go, be able to catch that back up. We'll have to wait and see. This is going to make the battle for the lead a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Nathan Kunjon here, do you pit to cover off? Just say that you make sure that you get track position, or do you stay out on low fuel and try to kind of back yourself and trust that your pace will be enough to stay ahead? I mean, what would you do in this situation?
Definitely stay out, I would say.
I think that's wise.
You use the low fuel to your advantage, because of course you've got Gallon, who's going to have a bit more fuel than you now, because he would have already picked up the fuel for the end of the race, you would imagine. So you would expect he's going to try and use this low fuel to his advantage, and he should theoretically have a bit of an advantage because of that. And then of course when he pits for fuel, they should end up having very similar amounts of fuel on board. So he has quite an advantage now. We'll have to see if that's what he ends up doing in his Audi R8. He's going to come across the final corner. Yeah, he's staying out. So I think that's a smart move, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll keep an eye on that gap. It's 38.6 seconds at the start of this lap. We'll see what it is at the end.
Should be able to go another upwards of 5 minutes, I think, should Nathan Kunjon. So yeah, that is crucial now. Every sector, every corner counts for him to try to stay out and then pit ahead, and then, well, I think it's a matter of time. So I think Gallon will be on to him by the end of the race, but I'm sure Nathan Kunjon would rather be defending for 2 laps rather than 5 laps near the end of the race. So yeah, we'll get a pretty good indication fairly soon of what their sector, what their lap times are like. Fortunately, 7 sectors around this place, so it's pretty tricky to read too much into the sectors. But yeah, in terms of the lap times, will be very interesting. Kim under even more pressure now from Kim. Although actually Ty did drop back slightly on that last lap, it just went up by about a tenth of a second. So saving a bit of fuel, maybe he could go one lap further on fuel and use that low fuel to his advantage rather than trying to overtake on track. And you can see Juan as well, again matching the drivers just ahead. Really, the top four, Nathan Kunjon is very similar pace to these guys as well. They're all super duper evenly matched, all really high quality of driving, because we haven't seen any of these top four at least make a mistake so far in this race. A little bit further back, we've got Galon just getting held up by Kanata. Ooh, and this is a bad corner to get held up by, and yeah, Galon needs to clear quick, but oh, he's not close enough into the next corner, and he's going to spend the carousel probably behind as well. This is not good for Galon.
Yeah, he's lost what looks like on my screen a second. Yeah, he's lost 7/10 of a second in that third sector, just by being stuck behind. He's going to go for the moving the kink, almost defensive. It's quite defensive there from Kanata, but yeah, this is not good as we got Kim and Huang and Song. So yeah, it looks like most of the leaders now making their way into the pit lane. So you'd expect Kanata to make the same move. So Gallon will have a clear lap. He's lost almost 2 seconds at this point on this lap, and that is definitely not what he wanted.
And this could be close now between Dong Yu Kim and Galon, because Galon's lost so much time on this lap as he now goes for the move up the inside. But this and Kim's going to be ahead here because he's on pit exit already. So this is absolutely dreadful news. Well, is Kim on pit exit? Maybe I was just misreading that. No, he's still just hanging on for a moment. Of course, Ty Kim's still going, but here is the other Kim. And yeah, he is behind, so Galon actually comfortably clear, so that's good news for him. And interestingly, Galon is 4 seconds clear of Kim, and Kim was 5 seconds behind Nathan Kunjon. So it is really close, and yeah, Nathan Kunjon needs a good in-lap here. I assume this will be his in-lap here, Nathan Kunjon. So it'll be tight when he comes out of the pits. He needs a very short pit stop as well. Can't afford to put any excess fuel in.
Yeah, but that gap starting to come down actually quite a lot. Callon's caught up a fair bit in the first sector of his lap, and that gap is definitely coming down. So it will be quite interesting to see. And also, we've still got 10 minutes left of the race. So not only does he have to worry about coming out in front after his pit stop, he has to worry about keeping ahead for the rest of the race, which is definitely not going to be an easy feat for him, because we've seen just how dominant Gallon's been. So let's see, is he going to head down into the pit lane now? Yes he is. So about to find out. 40.5 seconds is the gap as he makes his way now onto the pit lane. Doesn't look like he's sped, so that's the first thing he had to do successfully, and Kim joins him in the pit lane as well. So let's see where Gallon's going to end up.
I think Nathan Kunjon needs to be stationed for probably less than 12 seconds, because actually part of the reason why Dong Yu Kim is quite so far behind Galon was because he had a much longer pit stop, 12.5 seconds compared to Galon's 9 seconds. So Nathan Kunjon needs to make sure that he keeps this one down. He is now stationing his pit stop. Watch out as well, of course, for Ty Kim trying to get past Dong Kim as well, because Ty was behind before. Nathan Kunjon 11.3, so he should just about be ahead, but Galon was stationary for shorter. And look at Ty Kim as well. This is going to be very close. Can Galon just nip ahead? He does, into second position. So I was wrong there, to be honest. Nathan Kunjon miles clear, and it was a dreadful pit stop, wasn't it, for Dong Yu Kim, wasn't it? Because must have had a poor pit entry as well, because lost a lot of time because he's gone from ahead of Ty Kim to now 5 seconds behind Ty Kim. So that's quite a change there, but Galon crucially in second place, and now he needs to try to catch up to the leader with 10 minutes to go.
Oh dear. Weihan Chan in the wall. Where is this? Is this heading down into turn 5? No, it's this Canada corner. Not hit the grass, just centered in way too deep. Way too deep, and makes friends with the wall on the outside there, unfortunately. But this is going to be interesting for Gal now because he's got 10 minutes left, so that's what, 5 laps. And he's got to gain a 4-second advantage in that time to try and even look at winning this race. So yeah, this is he's got quite a lot of work to do to try and catch up to the leader, because he's got to gain what, basically a second a lap from here on out.
Yeah, we'll have, because we're going to be just short of an extra lap, so it will be 4 laps to go. We'll be probably about 30 seconds short of a 5th. And so, yeah, that is a second a lap. Whew. Well, you can see it for yourself on the timing tower. Gallon is catching. Oh, he spun! He spun, Gallon! And that's the race win gone. And that is Ty Kim up into 2nd place. Wow. Well, this is a season's worth of errors right now for Luis Paulo Gallon. He was pushing too hard. He was closing the gap, and maybe he was on target, but dipping the wheel onto the grass. Common mistake there. And Ty Kim nips through into 2nd place, and Ty Kim, I believe, 2nd place in the championship as well. Crucially could take a couple of points out of the championship leader, but well, how this race has changed for Luis Paulo Gallon. Looked like it was going to be another comfortable win, and he's made 2 very uncharacteristic mistakes. Good drive.
Just about. There wasn't much in that, was there?
Millimeters right there. And yeah, well, actually it's Huang, sorry, in 2nd place in the championship, but Kim is in 3rd, and the gap currently 34 points. I think it would go down by 2 points if it ended like this, down to 32 points. So, oh! It's going to need a faster pair as Wei Han Chan. It's another mistake, and he's had to tow back to the pits. He should have one more faster pair spare, but that's a lot of damage on his Ferrari.
Is this on the inside of the penultimate corner? He's gone over the crest, and oh, he's on the grass. And yeah, I think yeah, I didn't think he actually held the brakes there. I think he just floored it at that point, realizing that his race was pretty much over, and that's unfortunate. 6 minutes left in the race. He'll be lucky to get another couple of laps in at the end if he still has another fast repair remaining, which I'm not sure if he does. But yeah, that's unfortunate for him.
Of course, big thanks to him for setting this series up. He is the main man behind it all, and yeah, certainly would not be racing this season if it was not for Wei Han. Also, thanks to Macau-China Sim Racing Association as well for helping out this series, and also thanks to SimR Garage as well for sponsoring the championship. Those guys, along course with Next Level Racing, make this championship as awesome as it is, and continue Sim Racers Asia's 10 years of existence, setting up leagues on various different simulators. And yeah, go sign up if you want. There's a great forum post with all the details, and it's like 130 pages long. I swear it's probably the longest forum post on all of iRacing. That gives you all the information you need on Sim Racers Asia. But yeah, do check them out, and yeah, sign up to the series for the rest of the championship, because I believe it is free to enter as well. So yeah, no reason why not. Sanchez is what changes have occurred here then? So these guys have kind of separated out a bit. Sanchez was right on the back of Song, but he's now 3.5 seconds behind, and it's more likely going to be Tixura now to get past Sanchez there. 7 tenths between, but Tixura gained by half a second on that last tour.
Yeah, I think Tixura might have lost a bit of time in the pit stops there, because he was right on the back of Song with Sanchez just behind him. So yeah, it looks like he might be able to have the pace to catch back up and get past Sanchez. You can see there's only 0.3 of a second the gap. If you can get a good enough run through the kink here, he might be able to make a look into Canada corner. And he does have quite a good exit here. We might see a ascend into Canada corner. You can see Sanchez weaving a little bit there. Are we going to see it? No, we're not. He's just going to hang back and wait for a better opportunity. I think we might see something happen into turn 1 because we've got quite a long straight now coming up for these guys.
This could be the opportunity that he's been waiting for. I'm surprised by the lack of overtakes we've seen tonight, actually. I thought we'd have a few more, but I think this is going to be one of them now. Because the overspeed seems to be absolutely immense there for Tixir. Gosh, they're in the same car. But that was absolutely propelled out of that final corner there. He's ahead of Sanchez up into 7th place. And, ooh, he was a little bit wide. Or it wasn't too wide, but he certainly had to get out of the throttle to make sure they didn't go too wide. And you can go too wide through this turn 2. And now no one gets the draft on one another, and trying to catch up as well in the forward. He's had a great shot of this, or a great view of this battle all race long. And they are absolutely dead level heading into turn 3. He's going to have the advantage. Tixura looks like he will be able to make this one stick eventually. And there he is up into 7th position. And it should be able to pull away, I think, from here on in. Could be close with Gallon and Kim by the end of this race. It's down to 1.7 seconds, 1.5 seconds even. And look at that time difference between the two of them. Had that dreadful lap of the course. In fact, okay, so lap 15 was when he had the spin, Gallon, but of course Kim came into the pit, so that's why the spin doesn't really come up on there. But certainly laps 16 and 17 giving you an indication of their pace difference. Gallon certainly faster, but we are about to move on to the last lap, so I think it's going to be 1 lap short as the Brazilian.
It'd have to gain a lot of time, and it'd have to be a move into Canada corner, you would think. So it doesn't look particularly likely. Yeah, Huang's in the wall somewhere. Oh, Huang's just collected somebody else there, one of the McLarens of Song. So Song's got a bit more damage as well now. What's happened to Huang?
Second place in the championship, remember, is Huang, so it's will be fairly significant. Could mean that Tai Kim moves up into second place in the championship, and there was the McLaren spinning ahead, didn't hold his brakes, and well, I think Song should be alright because he's just got 1 more lap to go.
And quite a bit of a gap as well behind, so... Oh, just snapped, and a bit of an overcorrection there, unfortunately, but that was an odd one, and then, yeah, just right back onto the racing line. Not what you want to see, especially not what Song wanted to see. But yeah, Huang's dropping back a lot now, lots of damage to that car, and he's just got overtaken by Anne in the Ford, who is up into 8th. So what is the running in terms of manufacturer? We've got Audi, then Mercedes, then Ferrari, McLaren, Ford, and then you've got to go all the way down to 16th for the sole BMW, and then 20th for the sole Lamborghini in the field. I'm not used to seeing the Lamborghini still. I think it's still a bit weird to see the Lamborghini in iRacing. The BMW not so much, but it's weird to see a Lamborghini in iRacing.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. It's yeah, quite different to all the other cars. But it's pretty cool that it's out there. Another Kunjon then. I thought we might have a good chance at winning tonight, but after 10 minutes into the race, it looked like that was a terrible position. We've got Song into the trees there, but out in the lead, it is Nathan Kunjon, who, after winning at Hockenheim for his first race win of the season, he's going to make it back-to-back wins here at Road America. He wins at Elkhart Lake. He beats Tai Kim to the line, who has 0.8 of a second over Gallon in the end. Kim and Tixera will finish in 4th and 5th. quite a few changes on this last lap. And Tixera just needs to make sure that he's got enough fuel here in order to beat Sanchez as they race to the line. Was close between the two of them, but Tixera gaining a couple of places in the closing stages. And everyone else is fairly separated. So what happened to Song then through the kink? Because it looked like this race had really opened up for him, and in fact maybe that damage was costing him because he was under pressure from behind, and maybe that pressure just telling him.
Oh yeah, that's really weird. I don't think there was any grass involved there. The car just swapped ends.
I think he had some day. He looked very odd going through the carousel. I wonder if you get an onboard, because he seemed really squirrely there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you could see that he was opposite lock through there, someone flashing behind, and then the car just completely turns itself around. That's there must be some reason for that damage, probably. Yeah, that's you could see there it was opposite lock as we cut to the replay. I don't think there was any contact involved. No contact, no net code. The car just swapped ends, and you can see there's no hood on the car either. So yeah, it's a very damaged car.
Yeah, that contact he had with Huang at the end of the previous lap, probably a bit more damage than what I thought initially. A bit of steering damage there, and made the car fairly undrivable. It's fairly unwatchable, to be honest, at night with these blimp cams, because it's all very black for the drivers. They did very well out there tonight in order to get to the end of the race. Many finishes, and the front of all of them was Sasha Nathakunjon, who wins in the car number 19. He's probably out of the championship hunt, is Sasha, because he missed three of the first four meetings of the season. But yeah, it will certainly be some fun. He's proven himself to be a capable race winner. Tai Kim had very good pace. Wasn't a great start for Kim, and he qualified it down in 7th place. If it weren't for that, or 8th place even, if it weren't for that, he maybe could have fought for the race win. He just about beat Luis Paolo Gallon, who had his worst race of the season, but still finishing home on the podium. Then it was Dong Xiu Kim in 4th, Sebastian Tixera in 5th, then Simon Sanchez, Yehan An, Kevin Huang, Parat Toi, Ming Yu Song, Wei Lin Liang, Cameron Stubber, Pachara Hongsawet, Benjamin Brook, Asushi Kanata, Out Aaron Mitt, Jamal Gandor, Nicholas Fernat, Thomas Ferry, Kin Kyong Ao, Wei Han Chan, Sejong Park, Sang Young Lee, and Glenn Paolo. Bottom 4 of them not reaching the finish after collecting too much damage earlier on in the race. Now, sometimes we do have some interviews with the drivers, but unfortunately, we do not have any interviews at the moment with the drivers. So just a reminder once again about the sponsors for this series, the guys that make this possible. Next Level Racing, where you can get a terrific sim racing rig, really customizable for whatever you need it to be. Macau-China Sim Racing, and also SimR Garage. Do check them all out, and big thanks to them for helping out with the series. Dane, do you know what the next round of the championship is?
The next round of the championship is Phillip Island next week, and then the next broadcast round of the championship is Okayama in 2 weeks' time. So 2 interesting circuits there that aren't the most popular. So drivers probably wouldn't have driven them as much as Road America. So it'll be interesting. And then
Don't diss Okayama.
I'm not. I'm just saying it's not as popular as Road America. That's
you're
what
right.
I'm saying.
You are right.
Then Monza and Kota. So yeah, it's an interesting last couple of rounds of the championship. We've got 2 more broadcast rounds and 2 more non-broadcast rounds for these drivers to try and settle their positions.
Yeah, and of course the top 3 in the championship are still fairly close. That late race problem for Huang certainly wouldn't have helped him there, but Galon, Huang, and Kim all still within a chance of the title. Even Kevin Stubber actually entered this round in 4th place in the championship, and yeah, still plenty more action to come in this series for the remaining rounds. And as Dane was saying, we're broadcasting every other round of this championship, so no broadcast next week. However, we will have a broadcast in 2 weeks' time. The drivers are very shy, so anyone watching back on this one, come have a chat with us. Wherever you finished, if you crashed out and only did 2 corners, if you won the race, we'll happily have a chat with anyone. So do join our Discord server because there's a link in the description below, and then you just have to jump into the interview waiting area, and then we'll drag you up for the interview. Take that into mind for next broadcast, because I think we'll be wrapping up for this afternoon of racing. We will be back with you in a couple of weeks' time for round 8 of the championship. And of course, if you've enjoyed this video, do leave a like on it, and also subscribe to Apex Racing TV, and check out our social media as well on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Oh, just in the nick of time. Oh, I was about to wrap up, but well, I'm not sure if he does actually want to have a chat. Actually, I don't know. We'll drag him up for a moment. Wei Han, would you like to have a chat with us?
Why, hello there.
Hello. How was it out there? It was certainly a very exciting battle at the front, and you had some pretty exciting battles elsewhere as well.
Yeah, I think maybe karma struck me towards the end for my livery, but no, but yeah, I think it felt great that I could finally go on the track and be part of the action. After half a season of kind of being on the sidelines, and it's just interesting. Despite the field size being a little smaller than usual, I think the action was still quite good. We've seen quite a lot of battles, especially those up on the top half of the field, but I think the racing was kind of generally more clean this week, as you probably compare to the first few rounds, and I think that's something good for everyone.
Definitely, yeah, we certainly saw that out there. What's with the Arsenal livery, actually? I mean, you like supporting midfield teams, or what's that about?
Nah, I mean, it's just a team that my dad used to watch football, and I just kind of took it from him. He likes Arsenal, so yeah, I think I'll follow Arsenal. And I just kind of wanted a paint scheme that would kind of grab a certain attention from you guys, and yeah, I think I found the right one.
You certainly did. Congrats on that one. How was the night driving out there? I've seen a fair few of these night races. But yeah, how is it around this Road America circuit? Is it particularly tricky, or is it not too bad compared to, say, Watkins Glen, where you raced earlier on in the season?
Well, you know what? Coming from the Nordschleife 24 hours from last week, I think any track at night is probably better than that. So I think it was still all right. You couldn't, of course, you couldn't see all the track, but you could see most of, I guess, where you were going. And I think it was, I think it was. I don't think the night, the conditions kind of led to anything else happening, but. What happened with the first round was that I was trying to find this late afternoon setting, but instead I set to sunset. So what happened was the whole race was at night, and that kind of led to some issues with the racing.
Yes, yeah. But it was, yeah, like you said earlier on, much better tonight out there. Are we going to see you out there for the remaining races of the season?
Yeah, I'll try my best to make it for the remaining rounds. Certainly because I think of course I'm also there to try to capture the replay for reviews and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I'll try my best to be present for more rounds, and I'll see what other paint schemes I can get for the next few weeks.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward, and yeah, I'm looking forward to a fortnight's time to see that. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to, Wei Han?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah. First of all, the sponsors for this series: Next Level Racing, Macau-China Sim Racing Association, as well as SimR Garage for powering the Sim Races Asia series. To you guys at Apex Racing TV for providing the coverage for Sim Races Asia for so many seasons now. To everyone who's participated in this series, as well as to everyone watching. Thanks to everyone for making this such a such a joy to run.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having a chat with us, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks' time.
Awesome. See you guys.
So that was Wei Han Chan, the series organizer and also 21st position tonight. I got very close to wrapping up earlier on. We will finally say goodbye. So from myself, Sam Fitzpatrick, from Dane Baird, and from Marco Barbner, we'll see you in a fortnight's time for the next round of the Sim Racers Asia GT3 Championship. See you then.